Sunset Memorial Gardens in Cleveland is the target of complaints again, with grass as tall as your knee and reports of a foul smell in the mausoleum.
And you may remember we first told you about these problems about 4 years ago when the state shut down the cemetery after investigators found bodily fluids were leaking. The state reached an agreement with the owners, but residents tell our Natalie Potts that that agreement has been broken. Here's Natalie live with more.
Well, David, we showed up to Sunset Memorial Gardens on a tip, and we found the grass standing this tall, covering the headstones. Of course, crews got out here and cut the grass this afternoon, but people we spoke with say that's not the only issue. They say this cemetery is being neglected once again. Eddie Hodgins' family members say they are devastated by what they found at Sunset Memorial Gardens over the weekend. Hodgins' final resting place was flooded, with his grave covered with plywood.
Awful. The smell was awful. When I walked in, I noticed my uncle's whole marble slate was gone.
Hodgins' niece Deidre says the office staff offered this response.
And she told me she didn't realize there was a body in there. So it's just really upsetting.
Deidre says the employees in the office agreed to order another marker and pay for it, but she says that's not enough.
It makes me wonder if he's really still there. It makes me want to have my mother moved.
And she isn't the only one reporting issues about everything from tall grass to odors. It's been a year since the state and the owner of the cemetery reached an agreement in court to have an advisory board oversee the cemetery after dozens of complaints were filed.
No comment on everything.
Cemetery staff would not comment on the current conditions, but the state tells us the board is looking into Hodgins' complaint and one other. It seems there are more. A woman who did not want to be identified filed a police report after her family attempted to take matters into their own hands and clean up her daughter's grave.
It breaks my heart for my daughter to be there. Every time I go, it's just like leaving her all over again. Please help us. If that's your family, what would you do?
Now, the cemetery is supposed to provide a written response to all complaints, and the cemetery is also supposed to be inspected for the next 5 years. State officials tell us those inspections are at random, but when I spoke with a spokesperson earlier today, he could not tell me when the last random inspection was. We also reached out to board members to try to find out exactly when family members could see repairs, and our calls have not yet been returned. Reporting live in Bradley County, Natalie Potts, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.